Hi, how you going? I'm Matt from Tucker Barbecues. Today we're going to introduce the Charcoal Deluxe Barbecue. Now with the Charcoal Deluxe Barbecue, it's a full stainless steel charcoal barbecue. It also comes with an insulation jacket if you're going to build it into anything combustible material. And with this barbecue, it's a good type of charcoal barbecue. You have a charcoal base internal inside the barbecue. They have the internal ashtray, which is easier to take out. They have the handles on both sides, so you can take out your ashtray. You can put it underneath the hose. They're made out of stainless steel, so they don't corrode at all. You can wash them underneath the hose. Once they're all clean and all the ashes off the top of them, they just slot back straight into the barbecue. Just like that, fairly easy. Two trays beside each other. The charcoal sits on the tray. Once the charcoal burns down through the stainless steel grate, it sits inside the tray. So it's basically like a sand inside the tray once the charcoal burns down. You can hose it out, you can spray it with oven cleaner. There's multiple things that you can use to clean them. Because they're stainless steel, they're not cast iron, they don't rust. Internal inside the barbecue as well, the main barbecue unit where they cook over, the grills are made out of 8mm full stainless steel grill. They last you a lifetime, these grills. When they get dirty, you can actually clean them off fairly easy with a skewer pad. Grill stone, like a pumice stone, what cleans the actual grill, they're fairly good too. Adjust the internal base higher or lower away from the actual cooking grill on the top. So if you've got charcoal in there and it's burning too hot, you can reverse it all the way to the bottom. If you don't have much charcoal there at all and you want to bring the charcoal up towards the grill, the charcoal can go all the way up towards the grill, so you don't have to load more charcoal inside. You've got the front loader here. So if you want to load more charcoal in the actual barbecue while you're cooking and the barbecue's red hot, you still can add charcoal in this bottom base here while you're cooking on the top. So you don't have to remove the grills from the top of the barbecue and load the charcoal inside the barbecue. Now, these units too, you have your bottom section here where the drip tray goes underneath. You have also a venting system on this. So if you need more air to come up inside the actual barbecue, get the charcoal going a little bit more, you have these vents where you can open and close the vents. If you're getting a bit of the wind blowing and you don't want the wind to actually go inside the barbecue, you can shut off the vents and it stops the wind blowing on the actual charcoal. What will stop the wind blowing the charcoal around, and once the wind stops blowing the charcoal around, the ash doesn't stick to the food. Underneath the actual barbecue here, we've got the drip tray for the barbecue where all the fat and all the oil goes into the drip tray underneath the barbecue. So nice and easy for fat collection and your charcoal. When the charcoal's burnt out internal inside the barbecue, you can pull out the drip tray nice and easy, empty the drip tray out. Because it's a stainless steel drip tray as well, it won't corrode like the cast iron drip trays, and the old enamel drip trays usually corrode after a period of time. With these barbecues, there's many options with the barbecues. You have the skewers on the top of the barbecues. Now, the skewers are all rotate by a motor on the side of the barbecue here. They're all 240 volt. So pretty much your 240 volt plug straight into the motor here, straight into your power point, and then you've got the speed on the actual motor. Also now, if you don't have a power source, you can get a battery bank and put it on the motor as well, and that will also rotate the motor. Won't last long as the power, obviously, because you don't have consistent power, but that's the option if you can't have power around the area. The power bank actually on the motor sits inside a bracket. So the bracket just pretty much goes over the motor like that. The power bank sits inside the actual bracket there. The only thing is you want to keep the power bank far away from the charcoal source inside the barbecue so it doesn't burn your power bank. Because the charcoal burns fairly hot inside the barbecue. It burns up to, say, 500 degrees. So you'd probably want the power bank on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side, because it would get in the way of the actual skewer and it would be fairly hot, so you'd have to watch your power bank. It's got a speed, faster or slower. The motor on these units are about a 3 RPM to 20 RPM motor. So you do have a speed on the motor. You can actually have it fairly low or turn it up on the actual unit too to make the actual rods go faster. Obviously, the rods going faster on the barbecue is not going to burn the actual meat as much as it would if it would go slower. So all depending on how you want the meat, what time, what temperature, and everything, how it's cooked. Sometimes when you go too fast on the barbecue, it flicks the rods up. So you can slow it down so it's nice and slow on the barbecue, so you get a nice and even cook all the way over your meat. The motor's about 20 kg that it can spin, but you have to balance the weight out on each rod individually. You can't put 20 kilos basically on one rod. You'd have, say, 2.5 kilos, 2.5 kilos, 2.5 kilos, 2.5 kilos, or whatever you really wanted to do. But that's how you would do it. You can have big skewers on the actual barbecue, big prongs on the barbecue. So for the larger pieces of meat, you've got a couple of options. The barbecue does come with 6 rods, but you can buy extra rods if you want to put extra rods on the barbecue. The barbecue takes up to about 11 rods. It does come with a hood rack inside the barbecue, where the hood rack is fairly handy for a charcoal grill too. So you still can cook up on the hood rack. So you basically got your grills over the top. You've got your hood rack over the top here. It's a warming rack. Finish cooking your food, you can store it up on the warming rack on one side while you're still cooking the food if you desire. You can get the warming rack what comes out. They come out of the barbecue. You can put a rotisserie on the barbecue. No problem at all. So it basically gives you another skewer option if you're doing maximum type of charcoal rotisserie cooking. And even if you wanted to take the hood off the barbecue, the hoods come off the barbecue too. Fairly easy. You can take the whole hood off the barbecue, spray it with oven cleaner, and then hose it out if you wanted to, because it's all made out of 304 grade stainless steel. It's pretty much like a kitchen sink. Hoods go back on the barbecue. They pretty much just lock in these grooves at the front of the barbecue on both sides, and then they drop straight into the barbecue at the back. And that's how easy it is to put the hood on the barbecue. These sections on the barbecue, this is like a hood stopper. So if you have your skewers inside the barbecue rotating, you've got your skewers rotating inside the barbecue. It's a little bit windy. You don't want the ash to blow around. The hood still can close down on the hood stoppers, and the skewers still can rotate. It doesn't close down on top of the skewers, so your skewers still can rotate while the hood is closed. There's a triple rod swiveler kit what you can put over the barbecue. So by taking off the hood, which is fairly easy, we have a triple rod swiveler kit what goes over the barbecue. So you basically got one side in there, one side in there, and we've got the triple rods, which the triple rods set up on the barbecue basically in your gear drive, and they support on this side over here, and the motor rotates all the triple rods on the actual barbecue, and off you go. You've got more skewers. So you can have the skewers over the top, you can have the skewers running back to the front of the barbecue. We also do different types of gyro plates on the barbecue. A lot of people don't do the gyro plates on the rods these days. We do gyro plates out of full stainless steel. Nothing will ever happen to these gyro plates. They'll last you a lifetime. The gyro plates, you can put them on the main rotisserie or you can put them on the skewers. They go on pretty much any rod that we do. There's multiple cages that you can get with these barbecues too. They've got chicken cages, pork belly cages. They're very handy. A lot of people come in and ask for skewer cages with the handle on it. After a period of time, the skewer cages, because they're only made out of chrome plated, they buckle and they only last 5 minutes. With these ones here, they're all a stainless steel, 4mm stainless steel bar. They're pretty solid. Even when I'm squeezing it with my hand, I'm not bending at all. A very good type of quality cage that you can get for your chicken thigh fillets, lamb backstrap, whatever you really want to put in there, you can. We also have the flat lid option over the top. If you don't like roasting hood, we have a flat lid option. A lot of people go for the flat lid option over charcoal. They like to have a flat lid open and see what they're doing, and they get it real red hot inside the barbecue. With our Tucker side burners on the barbecue, they're a high power side burner unit. So that's basically on high. That's on low. On low, you should have a flame coming out the side burner where you can blow on the flame without blowing out the flame. When you go to a higher setting, if you're cooking underneath a wok or anything like that, you need high temperature underneath the wok to get the heat into the wok. So a lot of people who do the wok cooking, if you don't have a high enough burner, you're not going to get the temperature into the wok. These are about an 18 megajoule side burner, so plenty of heat gets thrown out of them. Full stainless steel ring burner too. So on a lot of barbecues, they don't make the actual burner, the side burner where the flame comes out of stainless steel. These ones are out of stainless. The old ones where they used to do them out of aluminium, they used to corrode after a period of time, but with a stainless steel burner inside it, it'll last you about 8 or 9 years. And also with the charcoal, there's a couple of different ways you can stack your charcoal inside the barbecue. You can stack your charcoal in pyramids with fire lighters underneath the charcoal to ignite the charcoal. Some of the barbecues, with the charcoal barbecues, they light the barbecues with a charcoal cup. Now, if you've got a wok burner, we use our wok burner on this barbecue here, where we turn the wok burner on, put the charcoal cup over the wok burner with the charcoal internal inside the cup. Once the charcoal's lit inside the cup, turn off the burner, pour the charcoal into the main base on the barbecue. And with our charcoal barbecues, you don't need to load up the whole base with a big stack of charcoal. You don't need to put 20 kilos of charcoal in this barbecue. You just have to put a light layer of charcoal inside the barbecue because you don't want the barbecue to get too hot. Charcoal's got a good burn time too, so you don't want to load the barbecue too much where the barbecue gets too hot. You've got too much charcoal in. You have to wait all night for your charcoal to cool down before you can take the charcoal trays out and empty them. All our barbecues are basically with these charcoal units are for outdoors only. You can't put an outdoor barbecue in an indoor area. And with the barbecues, when you finish cooking on the barbecue, it's good to just leave the hood open on the barbecue so the barbecue can breathe. If you do shut the hood on the barbecue, charcoal burns at over 500 degrees. So you don't want the barbecue to get roasting red hot and burn the actual barbecue lid. Once you finish cooking on the charcoal, you don't put water inside on the top of the charcoal to put the charcoal out. You just let the charcoal burn out. If you put water on the charcoal, you've got ash what can go all over the place. It'll make it dirty internal inside the barbecue, and you can also get flare up from the timber being alight for so long. So we don't put water on it once we're finished with the charcoal. We basically just let the charcoal bed burn out on its own. Everything comes off the barbecue too for easy cleaning. So you can take the rotisseries off the barbecue fairly easy. Your skewers come off the barbecue fairly easy as well. The barbecues are all made out of 304 grade stainless steel. So if you're anywhere near salt water with the stainless steel, if you do get a bit of corrosion on the barbecue, you just wipe it the same way the grain of the stainless steel is going and the corrosion comes straight off the actual barbecue. Now, with these barbecues too, what comes inside the box, you can get the barbecue as a built-in unit, so you can just buy the top section as a built-in unit if someone else is building your kitchen area for you and you just require the barbecue unit. We do that. Also, we do the barbecue on a stainless steel cabinet. We can build the barbecue into an outdoor kitchen if you like. We've got a 920 width barbecue, and we also do it in 1 meter 80. So we've got a couple of different sizes, all depending on how big your kitchen area is going to be. These ones pretty much come as a whole unit, so you don't really have to assemble much. The only thing you have to assemble is the insulation jacket, what the barbecue sits into, if you're buying it as a built-in type of unit. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop into one of the branches, either Silverwater, Tarrant Point, Mona Vale, or give us a call.